So you want to tell a story about VTubers, showing the rise of one cute little doe-eyed girl's stardom in the VTubing world. How do you get across the emotional essence of what it means to be a live streamer? How do you get across an authentic notion of what it is to live stream as a VTuber?
You serve no purpose in life. Your purpose in life is to be in my stream sucking on my dick daily.
How do you get us invested in the goal of this random stan? Nope, not that kind of stan. And convince us to root for her? I think the answer is pretty simple. You make her goal an NFT. Kizuna no alele, am I saying that correctly? Just look it up quickly.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Okay, I'm just gonna assume how I'm saying it is correct. So, Kizuna no alele is an anime about a girl named Mariko. Yes, that's her real name, not her VTuber name. Becoming a world-famous VTuber. She attends a VTuber high school. Yes, a high school that teaches people to be VTubers/live streamers. Where she's learning how to one day win a fucking NFT. Okay, so we can get to all of that nonsense later, but first, let's cover some preliminaries. I know that to a lot of people what I just said might have been a lot of word salad, and to be fair to the anime, I am being quite reductive to some of its points, but I do feel like this is worth talking about because I haven't seen it discussed all that much. I heard about this anime very weirdly, as is the case with all strange anime. I had seen on Twitter that a rather popular VTuber was talking about a VTuber anime, which of all things was shilling NF-fucking-Ts. Like many uncultured worms, I thought she was talking about the latest anime of the season, Oshinoko. Don't know if I'm saying that correctly either. Obviously, that was very wrong, but it piqued my interest because I'm not sure if many of you know, but I myself am a VTuber.
Your purpose in life is to be in my stream sucking on my dick.
And many of the live streamers I watch or collab with are VTubers as well. So clearly, I was going to look into an anime about VTubing. I went in with the intention to make a video from the very start, given that the fucking thing was shilling NFTs. But what I found was so much more confusing and worse, so incredibly boring. The first interesting thing that stood out to me was probably something that might have caught a few people's attention. It's the fact that this anime was not only named after, but also starred one of the first breakout VTubers, Kizuna Ai. Now, I don't know much about Kizuna, but I know that she's kind of the genesis of the VTuber uprising, and is supposedly even the first creator to have used the term virtual YouTuber, or VTuber for short. A lot of VTubers who have risen to prominence since her debut have often cited her as their inspiration for becoming VTubers themselves, so I imagine it disappointed a lot of people when she went on indefinite hiatus as of February 2022. The disappointment is likely so much worse seeing her come back and being involved in this stupid fucking mess. So, welcome to the Unpopular Department. I'm Moby the Unpopular, and if you enjoyed this video or are interested in things like music, anime or games, consider leaving a like and maybe subscribing. It certainly helps the channel and undeniably inflates our already massive egos. Now, let's have a look at Kizuna no alele. For this video, we're doing a little something different, which seems to be something I'm saying a lot recently. Normally, I would like to go through an entire anime before reviewing it or even discussing it, and as of the time of recording this video, there are currently 7 episodes out. Just so you know, when I wrote the script for this video, there were 4 episodes out, so I was kind of procrastinating there. Let's not think about that too much. So instead, we're going to treat this like an event in which I'm just explaining my observations. We're just going to go through the anime and look at some of the really strange stuff that goes on, because there just seems to be so many bizarre decisions made for this story. While I would go through the first 3 episodes, I think we can get our point across by having a look at just the first episode, though I will bring in points from later episodes, so spoiler alert, I guess. Sadly, the anime starts with Kizuna Ai, immediately informing you of her involvement in the creation of this turd. I'm not sure if she had any hand in the writing or story ideas, but she just does her VTubing thing before singing a song. Get used to it, they do a lot of random singing in this. Then we jump to Mariko. Again, her real name, not her VTuber name. We see that she was just showing us her favorite Kizuna Ai performance. How she doesn't get copyright struck for this shit, I don't know. She's not even slightly on screen providing any kind of commentary during the Kizuna Ai video, so she's just straight up re-uploading other people's content. So apparently in this world, copyright strikes don't exist, so already 0 out of 10 for authenticity on the live streaming experience. When Mariko's stream is over, she looks at her stats and complains that she barely had any views. But on her phone, you can see that she had almost 100 viewers. I don't know if a lot of you know how live streaming works, but let me tell you, as a super indie streamer who hangs out with a lot of indie streamers, 97 viewers is a fucking lot of viewers for a live stream. Some of the most popular South African streamers I know don't even get those kinds of numbers. So not only is this greedy little twerp ungrateful, but also 0 out of 10 again for stream authenticity. Mariko is a Kiss on the Eye superfan and vows to be like her one day. As I said, I don't know Kiss on the Eye, so I can't really relate. I guess I can say that there are many people I wanted to be like. Bruce Lee, so I could moor people. Neo, so I could slow time and stop bullets. Minions, so I could piss people off.
I can't look.
Mariko has an important event going on at school today, and for the first time, she cuts through a shortcut that she's never cut through before. On her way through the shortcut, she meets a skinny, tall, handsome emo who's supposed to be interesting, but if you've seen one of these kinds of characters, you start to feel like you've seen them all. Honestly, at this point, I was actually already taken out of the story because the story doesn't even have the excuse of her being a new student. They actually don't even say what year of the school she's in, and the path she decides to travel down looks very close to her apartment, student dorm room, I don't know. Either way, they can't even use the excuse that she's in a rush, because as soon as she sees the tall person, she just starts taking her time, staring and trying to make awkward conversation. So really, there's no good story justification for why she's suddenly heading down this path. I bring this up as a point now because it's one of the many things that just seems to happen without necessarily being justified by the story in any way. It's just anime things. So when Mariko gets to her class after staring and harassing the emo, we see that her class is actually a virtual classroom, and here's one of the things that really just fucking got me about this anime. Let's already ignore the glaring issues, since Mariko goes outside, touches grass, tries to speak to people in person, and even seems pretty outgoing. Now, we already know that VTubers are awkward turtles who like to hide in the shell that is their homes and have never smelled, let alone touched grass before, so already that's 0 out of 10 for authenticity on the VTuber front. But no, let's focus instead on the fact that this young woman got out of bed, got dressed in school clothes, went outside, got to her school, walked into a random fucking room to then crouch down on some random spot to enter the virtual world and attend what is actually just a fucking online class? Why did she even need to leave the house? This really bothered me for all of the episodes I watched. Every single class in the anime takes place in the virtual world, something which the show makes clear almost everyone can interact with. Why the fuck would there be a need for students to go to a physical place or to even wear a uniform if the entire schooling process is virtual? What, they can't enter this virtual space from home? You can even see in episode 2 after a bunch of virtual bullshit happens that when she leaves the virtual world, she never even left the spot that she was just randomly crouched down in. I have never seen an anime so blatantly need to stick to the school formula, only to make the actual going to school part so fucking unnecessary. It genuinely makes no sense to me, since even the live streams Mariko does takes place in the same virtual world. There's literally no need for any kind of actual school whatsoever, and that's still ignoring the fact that it's a fucking school for VTubers! I'm especially ignoring just how stupid the VTuber school thing is because of how many more questions it brings up, but I cannot ignore just how dumb this part of the story is. And at no point do they explain why the students need to attend a physical building in an actual uniform, only then to change into literally whatever avatar they want when they enter the classroom. Also, every class that takes place so far has a student standing. Like, really? You guys gotta make kids stand for hours at a time, all week? You don't you don't got enough metabucks or whatever the fuck to get some chairs for these kids? Sorry. Okay, so the important event that's taking place is that Mariko needs to sing in front of the class. The singing and live streaming thing is kind of weird because every time they sing or live stream, they seem to go into a deeper virtual world in the virtual world. Like every time they sing or stream, they just seem to cut away and not show where exactly these students are going. This is not a big point, but it's just one of the many things that the anime never goes about explaining. It's stuff like this that makes the pacing feel weird, and you always feel out of sorts because you can't for the life of you figure out how everything works, or even where these people are half of the time. It's just virtual, so it works, I guess. So Mariko sings, and like the Kizuna song, it's not particularly catchy, and the dancing is just dancing. It's certainly no BTS, but sometimes these days it feels like BTS aren't even like BTS anymore. I should probably take that back. Please don't come after me, K-pop stans. The song that Miracle sings gets recycled in another episode, and then so does the Kizuna song, and something tells me that it's gonna get recycled again throughout the anime. So if you're interested in watching the show, maybe leave a comment and let me know if I'm right when the show is done airing. Sorry, I gotta form them comments. Maybe even let me know if you are interested in watching the anime, or if you are not interested, or what your thoughts are. Yeah, just leave a comment. That helps us a lot. So the teacher tells Miracle after her song that she should unironically look at the comments to see how she can improve, and I cannot stress how fucking stupid this is. It was already rather unclear how her singing was going to be assessed by the teacher, especially since we later learned that all the teachers are actually AI, but more on that later in the video. But to actually tell someone to look at the comments as a means of any kind of review is just a fucking horrible idea. Don't get me wrong, there will be people who say positive things in the comments, and even people who give you brilliant advice. But we all know that there will be this one group of people who will absolutely just obliterate this girl's self-confidence. And even then, just because they're out to troll and probably couldn't even care less about the performance. Some people really just do wake up extra early to hate. I should know, I am one of them. I wake up at 6 and I hate nearly everything. Where there are passionate fans, there is passionate hatred. And man, can idol fans be fucking passionate. This is among one of the many things that make you question if the writers of the story have any idea what they're talking about. It's as if they didn't actually consult even one VTuber to get an actual idea of how the world of online content creation works. And if they did consult someone, I'm not sure if they weaved any of that person's advice properly into their story. This issue is even more compounded when you realize that literally the only actual VTuber here is Kizuna. And by that I mean, wouldn't it have made sense to have actual VTubers voice these roles? When I first saw the opening of the anime, I actually thought that they probably hired VTubers to perform these voices, since so many VTubers either are or really want to get into voice acting. Wouldn't it give your show so much more authenticity if you had actual VTubers voicing VTubers? I feel like this should have been a given from the very conception of the show, though now I imagine even just a single look at the script would have probably had any self-respecting voice actor going,
"Place looks like my ass."
Anyway, Miracle sees that quite a famous VTuber is watching her performance, so being an optimist, she invites that VTuber to a collab, and just straight up gets fucking rejected. Do you see what I mean about haters? So, obviously, this puts her down in the dumps. So she's just chilling in a virtual courtyard, obviously with her real body still crouching on some random spot on the ground. Are her legs getting sore? Is she aware of what's happening to her physical body? No explanation, just anime stuff. A random portal then opens in front of her when she, imagines the voice of Kizuna Ai or actually hears it. It's not very clear because she looks up like she actually heard Kizuna Ai's voice. And there's a random portal in front of her. The portal takes her to a place where there's lots of trees and grass, like a bigger courtyard only without the fountain. Now, I'm not delusional, right? She's surrounded by grass and trees already. All virtual, of course. So then, why the fuck does she react like this when the portal takes her to more grass and trees? Virtual, close your beak! This portal thing is also so confusing, like it's a random portal that opened up and for a moment I thought, was this girl actually gonna get isekai'd? But no, it's just another part of the virtual world, and when she's inside, all she does is plonk down and start studying. Like, are you not curious where you are? Who opened the portal? Were you even worried that you might get stuck? She clearly wasn't, and at no point does she even ask any of these questions, since in the very next episode she just leaves somehow. Again, no explanation, she's just somewhere else when she needs to be, and we just go with it. I know I'm making a big deal about something so trivial, but make it make sense. Even the cuckest of anime have a character or a narrator describing the world we're looking at, giving us a sense of where we are and how the world works. I don't even think some of the most brain-fried Cartoon Network shows had me this confused about where the characters are or how they got there. This is the end of the first episode, and honestly I want to describe the rest, but it's just all so boring because really nothing is happening. Nothing about this girl makes you want to root for her, nothing about Kizuna Ai stands out as unique from any of the other VTubers, so unless you're a big fan, there doesn't really seem to be a reason for Miracle to aspire to be at her level. They both are just like VTubers. Not that I'd even tell anyone to aspire to be like Kizuna Ai. The world of online content creation is so saturated, no one needs another Iron Mouse, no one needs another HoloLive, no one needs another XQC or PewDiePie or another iShowSpeed. Literally every single creator will tell you to just be original. Originality is the flavor that makes your voice stand out, even if you start off by mimicking the content that you enjoy. From my perspective, nothing about Miracle's journey even sounds like it's worth rooting for. And as far as I'm concerned, if you can't get us invested in a story like this in at least 3 episodes, you've pretty much lost us altogether. Even if we were to ignore the story's slow pace and our own lack of interest, nothing about the anime can save it from how bad it gets when we start to get into the specifics. Okay, so I've made it clear that there's a lot of things that go unexplained throughout the anime, but there are these large sections after the credits are over where we get treated to what I think is supposed to be a Miracle stream. One issue with this stream, quote unquote, is that this is not how streams work. In fact, none of what streaming is presented as in this anime is how streams work. They call it live streams, but every stream that happens lasts between 1 to 5 minutes. Are all of these streams on Instagram or are all of these TikTok streams? If they are, you need a little bit more Subway Surfer in there. At the same time, when the streams are over, the comments stick around, so it's almost like she's streaming on YouTube since that's how YouTube streaming works. Which means if she is streaming on something like YouTube, these characters will get copyright struck even harder, because most of the songs they sing on these streams are other people's music. And by God, does YouTube crawl up your ass when you cover music. No wonder this chick gets no views. Anyway, in these little Miracle pseudo streams, they explain some of the world. So firstly, in this world, they aren't called Vtubers, they are virtual artists, which I suppose makes them sound more distinguished, but to me, it just makes them all sound like AI. And this leads us to the first thing about the world building that rubbed me the wrong way. Not only is the entire virtual school staff made up of AI teachers, who are supposed to be teaching people how to be doing creative arts, by the way, but the school is run by an AI principal, supposedly the first AI principal in the world, which I suppose explains why such a fucking stupid thing as a school for VTubers exists. I know the AI debate is already complicated enough for artists and musicians, but with an anime that already seems to be not only ignorant of the world of live streaming but also content creation itself, it really isn't helpful that they seem to be selling the idea that AI can dictate how successful a VTuber's performance might turn out. Not only is this incredibly dumb since a live streamer's success cannot be measured by assessment or by one good performance, being a successful online creator is a lot more complicated than that, and to act as if there is a way that the success can be taught is incredibly mischaracterizing of the online world. This stupidity is compounded when you find out that the AI writes the music that is meant to assess whether these VTubers succeed at the competition Miracle is trying to win. I'm rather going to take a pause here and say that the debate regarding AI and its involvement in creative arts is already vitriolic, and my knowledge only extends so far as to say that I know most AI that is meant to present some kind of creative output can only do so by taking up the work of others in order to produce something seemingly new. Some people argue that this is how inspiration works, but I strongly disagree. I do think that there can be a place for AI in creativity, however, to what extent I have yet to discern for myself. So I won't get into the debate, and I'd say go look at something like Mother's Basement's video on the topic, since I agree with most of their points. So if we skip the probably endlessly long and most likely tiresome conversation to be had about AI, we then turn towards the other clown in the corner. See, how Kizuna fits into this anime is that she's actually an AI herself. And she won what is called the She won the award 5 times in a row. I don't know how an AI gets to participate in an award show that is meant to be for real people, but okay, like I said, we're skipping the AI conversation. We find out then at the end of episode 3 that the Lapendio award is actually a fucking NFT. And the show goes on to give a whole explanation about what an NFT is and what makes it so special. But if you have any idea how NFTs work, or if you've even got a little bit of common sense, you know that this stuff is fucking worthless. It is literally just a record of proof of a particular thing, like a stupid monkey picture, or worse still, pictures of people or their brands that NFT bros straight up just copy off the internet and then pretend belongs to them. And this is ignoring the shit effects that the developing and selling of NFTs has on the environment. NFTs are meaningless commodities sought after by people with too much money and who seek further means of establishing how little value they really have. Again, this is another conversation that is meant to be had by people that are a lot smarter than I am. NFTs are another hot topic debate, and I won't pretend I have the knowledge required to tell you why NFTs are entirely just pointless pieces of shit. What I do know is that despite most crypto people insisting that NFTs somehow benefit the artists of the world, the constant stealing and disrespect to the legacy of artists for the sake of a quick buck seems to show that NFTs are an extraordinarily anti-artist concept. And that alone is enough for me to call out the assholes who are still trying to push this bullshit. So, with this in mind, it's kind of worrying to see that a show like this will show these things to what is likely meant to be a younger audience than someone of my age. After all, there's no raunchiness in this show. There's no fan service, no crass humor. Every single time the characters do a live stream, they act like the audience members are a bunch of 10-year-old kids. In essence, it feels like a kiddie show is trying to teach kids about the wonders of NFTs. And that's the reason why this show feels a little scummy now, and extraordinarily dated given the current drop of value in things like NFTs. I won't go full conspiracy and call it evil or malicious. I doubt the creators are trying to destroy the mind of the children.
Destroy the child.
But you do gotta wonder, what the fuck are they trying to do? I'm quite certain that most anime fans who are aware of the existence of Kizuna will most likely have been exposed to the stupidity of NFTs. So is the show really meant to appeal to those people? The show is barely done, and anime fans have already taken a massive shit on this thing. Not only just for its desecration of Kizuna-Ai's legacy, but also for just how incredibly bland and tasteless the anime is. From its music, to its animation, to even its fucking characters. A lot of people are especially disappointed by the studio behind the anime, Studio Wit, who are quite prolific in the number of quality anime they've put out. However, looking at the recent anime project they promoted, in which they used AI to draw their backgrounds, I can't say I'm entirely surprised that they were quite okay with putting out this outdated, grifter feeling bullshit. It seems that, even as a studio putting out one of the most popular forms of art today, they are already quite disconnected from the people who support them and the artists who put in grueling hard work to make things like this anime possible. Unfortunately, I can't make a recommendation or state what my final verdict is. I think everyone should decide for themselves how they feel about everything around the anime. The anime isn't done, so maybe at some point it can redeem itself. Like I said, it's just an event, I'm just observing it, and I'm telling you what I observe. It's just something that's happening. It's just anime things.